What's good, YouTubers? So, I'm making this video as promised for one of my subbies. And I'm telling you guys right now that um, this video is a discussion about health and illness. And it is from my personal perspective of healing. And I'm just telling you that way, if it's not something you're interested in, fine. But this is my thing. When I first got sick, of course I didn't want to be sick. Nobody wants to be sick. But I started doing research and looking into ways that can heal my body. And furthermore, I looked at cases of people who claimed that they had gotten healed from fibromyalgia. A lot of them, they was like they changed their diet. It was simple as that. They started eating organic, and but you know what? And then the other ones was like I changed my mentality. I did a lot of research. I did like the metaphysical root causes. I read that sometimes in a previous life you were a warrior, and in this life you're just really tired, and this life is your rest period between lives. I read about type A personalities, perfectionists, and how they really just drain the body of its prana and its energy, which, I'm not going to say I was a perfectionist per se. Yeah, I was a perfectionist. I really was. Type A personality all of the way. It was not as bad, but yeah. So going through getting sick, becoming depressed, um, just my journey, it led back to my illnesses reversing itself, and I want to share the steps because I don't know what I did right, what I did wrong, but I figure it can help somebody. First of all, I will say this, I did take this holistic supplement for anybody who has the Epstein-Barr virus present, and it caused fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome. I never checked to see if I had the Epstein-Barr virus, but I got really sick before I got sick, chronic sick. I got really sick with a really, really bad strain of pneumonia, and I've never been sick like that in my life. I was hospitalized for a week. It took 6 months for me to stop wheezing and for the pneumonia to clear up. And up until 2 years later, I was still wheezing. My lungs still are 100%. So I was figuring maybe something piggyback, maybe that was a virus, and I took the supplement, so maybe that did it. Um, I want to say this one thing I did learn with my interest in metaphysics is that any illness, by the time it gets to the body, it has already been present. It's not, no illness manifests itself strictly from a bodily illness. There's always something in the higher realms going on, and I understand what that means, but I'm trying to explain that in a way where it's simple and understandable. You go through these processes, okay? First is spiritual, the next is mental, the next is emotional, and the last is physical. By the time an illness gets to a physical manifestation, it's already went through those realms. There is something wrong. So for me, I had to figure out what was wrong on all of those levels, not just trying to heal the body, trying to heal the mental illness, trying to heal the emotional illness, trying to heal the spiritual illness. Everything starts in the spirit before it manifests itself physically. So, with that being said, I learned that there is no such thing as an accidental illness. It was drawn to you for a lesson or a blessing or whatever. There's a reason why you're sick. It isn't just a sick for any reason. There's a reason. So I figure, I'm sorry, y'all. This stuff is all on my back. Thank you. I figure if you can determine the root cause of the illness, you can heal the illness. I think that even when we get cancer or whatever, the most times we just focus on physically, I have this illness, I got cancer, I have diabetes, I have hypertension, I have ulcerative colitis, I have Crohn's disease, I have Parkinson's disease, and we just focus on the dis-ease, the physical portion of it, and a lot of times that's why the healing never takes place. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's fact, and I probably wouldn't have believed it if I wouldn't have started healing my own body myself. So this is my thing. There is no illness that is not curable. There are cases around the world. If you look up every illness, I think it's a matter of this is a problem, okay? And the problem is you have a problem, and you have a problem with the problem, and then you're focused on the problem, and it consumes you. So you can't get to the growing, learning, peaceful part because you're so stressed out by the problem. And I understand that because like for 2 years straight, I was just really, really, really stressed because if you have a physical problem, it's not I never want to belittle the illness. I respect the illness because the illness takes over your life and knocks you on your ass. So I respect illness. It's not that I'm trying to downplay it. But a lot of times, okay, you sick, now you gotta figure out, okay, can I work? Can I work? Can I get disability? I gotta go to the doctor, you know. So this is just really shit. I'm already at 6 minutes. I'm sorry, you guys, but I gotta say everything that I gotta say because this was 5 years of being sick and now beginning to be healthy. So I took some notes. Bear with me. Okay. I went through the stages of healing. The key to healing is healing the mind, body, and the spirit, not just the body. Because, like I said, the mind is the mental and the emotional, the body is the physical, the spiritual is the spirit. You have to figure out what is exactly wrong with all of these layers. And see, here's the thing, in the age of information, I've been saying this for years, in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. It all depends on what is important to you, what is your passion. I know people who research all day long about being sick, just strictly on a level of just sick. Oh yeah, this doctor put out this study in fibromyalgia, and they did these microscopic tests, and all that is all good. And then they wonder why they're still sick. Meanwhile, and I'm not trying to up myself or put myself or make myself seem better than them because I have been in online support groups, and when I came into these chat groups, it seemed like they focused on the illness, not they talk to each other about being sick. And I get that because when you're sick, you want to be with somebody who understands you, but they didn't do what's the cure. Let's find a cure. It's 50 people in here. We got to figure something out the way I wanted to. So, one of the first things I did was, and it took me 2 years just to do this, learn how to accept the fact that I was sick, yet fight against it at the same time. It was a complete contradiction because I felt like if I accepted the illness, that I was giving up and I was just embracing it and saying, fuck it, it's just going to be there. And I had people saying, don't ever accept that you have an illness. Like something I learned in Christian circles was don't speak on the things that you don't want. Don't accept, you rebuke, you reject. I rebuke this illness in the name of Jesus. You don't never accept that you have an illness. Hear people talking about I rebuke a cold in the name of Jesus in there, and it's not coming out their nose. Like, you got a cold, boo. That's a cold. And it's okay to have a cold. We all get colds. I mean, that's what I had to learn. It's okay. People get sick every day, B. Like, it's okay to deal with this. It's okay. I had to accept this is what I got. Whatever term you want to use, I had to accept it. I had to come to terms with it. I had people telling me it's your fault. You got this illness because of things that you ate and your environmental factors, and you don't filter your air, and you eat canned foods and processed and fast food. And so, yeah, your body, you was put toxins in your body, and it's your fault that you got an illness. Well, perhaps, obviously, perhaps. I was in a house that had mold in the garage. I mean, even though I didn't spend a lot of time in the garage, who knows if there was mold in the house? So perhaps the spores of the mold got in my lungs and it made me sick. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it don't matter. This is what I got to deal with. This is what I have at this moment in time. That does not mean, okay, the mentality is I have it now. That doesn't mean I have to have it tomorrow. That's a good mentality. I would say this is what I'm dealing with in this moment. That doesn't mean I'm going to deal with it forever because while I'm accepting, okay, Aisha, you cannot do what you used to do, but at the same time going, all right, I'm going to get on this computer, I'm going to research this, I'm going to research that. When I first started off, I was taking, frick, what's the name of it? It was like a glucose. Um, but it was giving me the energy, and then it was like I just wore my excuse me. I don't know why every time I make a video I start yawning. That's strange. Anyway, um I started taking these supplements and writing down lists of supplements. And I mean it was Google. Writing down lists of supplements that are good for this disease and okay, I'm gonna try this one. Like there was one SAME. That didn't do anything for me. I took it for a couple of months. It didn't help. It didn't not help. But it was the mentality. I'm not even really focused on physically what I did. What I'm focusing on in this video is my mentality. My mentality was I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to beat this. I'm going to get my life back and nothing's going to stop me. Yes, this is. I got to answer this. Yeah, original. I don't know. It's not even for me. Original. Get two. Get one original and one vanilla. Thank you, baby. Okay, see, that was my daughter. She's at the store and she's getting fruits for our smoothies, and she was asking about almond milk. Um, my mentality was I need to be at my highest health possible. What can I possibly do? Okay, even if I cause this by eating bad things or eating fast food or eating canned foods, or what can I do to reverse this? My issue is the mentality of, oh, well, this is what I got. Let me just sit back and fucking be sick. No, stop doing whatever it was that caused the sickness in the first place. A lot of times, stress, which brings me to my next point, stress causes a lot of illnesses. Now, I don't know if this illness was caused by stress. For me in particular. And I'm going to tell you why. Because stress is just one of them things that you're going to have to deal with. I'm just, ugh, get off me. Get off me, Satan. Stress is one of those things that you just don't have to deal with. Life brings you stress. You got a job, you got a relationship, you have kids, you got bills, you got issues. All of that is going to bring you stress. So, in that stress, how are you dealing with it? Are you internalizing it? This is what I realized that I did. I do this thing that I contract. All of my muscles get really, really tight. You know, when I'm stressed out, and on the inside, I'm not relaxed, and I don't even notice it. You know, tense, tension. I hold a lot of tension on the inside while I'm dealing with it. I deal with stress. I handle stress like a motherfucker. I am not the type of person who gets overwhelmed by stress, but I was tense for years and years and years on a daily basis. Wake up tense because now you got to go to work and blah 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 blah. What do you have to do when you get there? And I gotta hurry up, and then you're in traffic and you're tense. Oh my god, there's traffic and this man and honk the horn. Come on, man, get out of my way. And you know, now you got workers, you're tense. You got coworkers rolling your eyes. What the fuck is wrong with her? You know, it's just everything is tense. Phone ring, you tense. Bill collectors, school calling. Somebody got suspended. Everything was tense. When I got sick, I learned how to deal with stress. I got very passive, like like very passive. Like the only thing that can really the main thing in life that gets me like trying to get the thing out of my face. The light out of my face. The only thing in life that can get me hot, is my daughter. My daughter, not even my boyfriend anymore, because we got used to each other. You know, my daughter can get me, baby. I won't kill her. I can't even explain to you. It's like she thinks she knows everything, and I'm telling her I'm the mother. I know best, and she's like, no, you don't, and I want to do what I want to do, and yeah, and I just want to choke her. But even then, it's like she's getting ready to move because I'm like, there cannot be two grown women in the same house because you're not gonna stress me. So figure out what you're gonna do with yourself. You're either gonna go away to school, you're gonna go to the military, you're gonna go live with somebody else. Those are your three choices. You cannot stay here. But see, it's how I deal with my stress. Instead of me going, huh, why won't you change? No, can't change nobody. You cannot change anybody. You cannot change. Only thing you can do is deal with yourself. But this is my domain. So it's about what I allow in my safe haven. And yes, you're my daughter and I love you and you're 19 and you're a baby and you don't own shit. However, you cause me stress. That's where you have to go. Period, point blank. I started removing things that were stressful out of my life. I mean, I work a job that's an hour away because the job isn't that stressful. Keep my stress as low as possible. When I'm in traffic, I'm singing at the top of my lungs or I'm listening to a documentary on YouTube. I'm doing something to keep my vibrations up, to keep my spiritual vibrations high. Because like I said, there's a depression that I still deal with that comes along. I hope this is still recording. Oh yeah, I see it. There's a depression that comes along with being sick that just because you don't want to be sick, it's not going to wheel the depression away. Some days I still have bad days. I get tired of dealing with this and it wears on me. And then I have to just continue to move forward. So, dealing with stress, recognizing how you deal with your stress, paying attention to yourself and how you do things was a big factor in it. Even when, baby, let me tell you something about life. You're going to get through it. No matter what's there, you're going to get through it because the sun is going to rise the next day regardless. So you sitting there stressing for what? Tomorrow is going to come. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. If you end up homeless and you end up in a shelter where you're waiting on emergency housing, well, you're going to get emergency housing. And it's your mentality. It's the I'm going to be all right mentality. You got to deal with that. Okay, what else? Yeah, and I put that like stress makes you even more sick, like physically, because stress is a spiritual thing. Worry, not trusting the universe to take care of you, not trusting your higher self, your higher power, not trusting the reason why you're here, and everything happens for a reason, brings stress, and then stress has physical manifestations. So now you're sick because of something else, and you're stressing because you're sick, and that's gonna make you even more sick. It's a sucky merry-go-round, and I understand because shit. I'm not saying I'm not on it. I'm just saying I'm working towards the other side. Like I hit rock bottom, and now I'm on my way up. Um, I said change the perspective to see the good in it. Okay, now I'm gonna tell this story. I'm trying, Jesus, to set this thing. Okay, that's a little bit better. I'm trying to get out the light because it's bothering me. Okay, tell this story. I got tired in February. In May, I took a break, knew something was wrong. Something is wrong. I'm not crazy. Something is wrong. By August, I had chronic pain. Um, by November, I had my diagnosis. I diagnosed myself. I knew what I had just from looking up my symptoms and being a nurse. I'm not gonna lie. I had never heard of fibromyalgia though. One of my doctors was like, "I think you got fibromyalgia." And I'm like, What is that?" He's like, "Look it up." So I started looking it up. He also said I could have had Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and because I had a goiter and stuff, so I was like, no, and I started feeling the symptoms together. This is my thing. Don't ever think because it's a doctor they're smarter than you. Don't ever think because somebody went to school that you cannot know what they know. There is this thing called the internet. Get on the internet and do your own research. You know what you know what you know. You know, uh, to learn the same things they learned, which I did. Which I did. Which I low key know more about my healing than my own rheumatologist knows. Like, and I'm gonna keep it like that. Okay, but instead of me looking at it like it was the end of my life, I looked at it like it was the beginning of another life. So it's about your perspective too. It's about your mental. If you allow this sickness to create a snowball effect. It went spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. It'll just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, up and down the ladder of, your stages, and then you'll never heal. So you have to your mental, which for me, my mental is the strongest thing on my body. Some people are, and I understand why. For some people, they begin to exercise and they ate green leafy vegetables and they ate rabbit food and they heal because that was the strongest thing for them. So you have to find out which out of the four of those, which one is your strong point, your body, your mind, your emotions, or your spirit. For me, it was my mind. My mind is my strength. So I looked at it like I can go back to school. I can do this. I can do that. I was spending a lot of time. I was the head of a department. I was really stressed, so I gave up the department. Like eventually, I gave up working. The next thing I said was dare to dream. Just because you're sick does not mean that your life is over. You know, I'm on the computer right now. It's not. What is this? What is this doing? Nothing. I'm sitting here. I'm chilling, and I'm resting at the same time. But I'm on the computer. I'm doing something. So there are other things that you could do. It doesn't mean your life is over. For me, I formulated a plan because this is what I figured as a nurse. I can have the flexibility. It didn't work out the way I started it to, but this was my plan. Ultimately, I went and I worked the night shift because the night shift was slow. Now, I found out later the night shift is not good for fibromyalgia patients, so I don't really work the night shift anymore. I do every now and again. But I try to stay away from the night shift permanently because at the time I was having problems with my sleep pattern, and sleeping during the day, it makes me sick. So, but my plan was to go back to school, work the night shift, do the things that I'm working on now, become a life coach, write a book. I started on my book actually when I stopped working, so use your talents. Um, I said do research. I take acupuncture, and the acupuncture works. So I would say for anybody who is sick, go to acupuncture, go to Reiki, go look up these Eastern philosophical techniques for healing. Um, in in Eastern teachings, every organ of the body is associated with something of the mind and spirit. Um, for like the stomach, it's worry. For the adrenal glands, whatever it was like it was a representation of which what I did, which was try to chop the tree down with one swipe instead of doing little chops and not worry about what I couldn't get to. It was my perfectionism. I exhausted my adrenals. But the crazy part was they ran a adrenal test on me some years back. Didn't see anything wrong with it, but I could barely get out of bed. No, something is wrong. You're not crazy. My thing was, is it a visible illness? It's something that's really hard to see. Um, this is another thing, and I really don't care. Sanaya, could you come close these blinds, please? They are in my face. Please, please, thank you. Close the blinds right there. They should be going downward. Yeah, that's it. Fix that one, cause that's still not closed. Oh, okay. Thank you, honey. Where is this? It's still it's like getting on my nerves. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I don't care how anybody takes it. Fucking, fucking westernized medication is the devil. I say this because my ex was taking medication for her illness that was actually making it worse, and the side effects are shitty. And right now, only thing westernized that I'm on is extreme Tylenol. That's it. I started off with extreme Tylenol at the beginning. I'm back to extreme Tylenol. I don't even take it every day. I haven't even taken any today. And it's December. And for anybody who has fibromyalgia, and I'm in Chicago, and you know how winter cold affects fibromyalgia. And I was out there, and I did start hurting my hip, my leg, my knee. But once I warmed up, I learned Easternized techniques, staying warm, acupuncture, my supplements, drinking tea, things that they would say about digestion and how digestion is like the most important thing that you could do to your body because what you ingest. Because I really felt like I had a malnutrition issue too, that I was not absorbing the nutrients from the food. Um, I wrote Big Pharma wants to keep you sick. Yeah, there's no money in the cure. That doesn't mean there isn't one. That just means they're not going to tell you because then your insurance is going to pay for the medicine. It's going to keep you sick. Stop depending on your doctors to heal you. They don't know. If they tell you that there's no cure, that's not true. They just don't know what the cure is because according to what they learned in school, there's no cure. Yes, according to what they learned in school, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because if that's the case, I should not be where I am right now. And you can't tell me that it was just in my head that I didn't have nothing to deal with because I deal with it even now. That's bullshit. You can't tell me because I did it. I tried to do it their way. It didn't work. All it did was keep me sick. And my way worked. Period, point blank. Um, the meditation aspect really is just to help with the stress. Keep your body calm, keep you even. You need to be calm while you're healing. If you're not calm, if you're contracted, if you're in that tension, you're not going to be able to heal. Um, this was another thing. Visualize health and healing. This is what I started learning towards the end when I started getting better. I started visualizing myself better when I was still fucked up sick. I started visualizing myself better. And everything that I visualized has came true. Everything. Everything has came true. To an extent, it's come true. So don't believe don't believe that you have to believe it. You have to be able to see it. You cannot accomplish anything that you can't see. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. I don't care if you're bedridden. I don't care if you have pain all day. I continue to visualize myself waking up pain free. I used to visualize myself being able to cook and be in my kitchen. And guess what I'm going to do once I finish this video? I'm about to go cook and make my smoothies and cook. It can happen. Like, man, I feel like the poster child for health and healing because it can happen. Um, this is one of the tricks that I learned from psychic. I'm sorry, I'm probably making y'all dizzy. I went to see a psychic it was about my health, but she started talking about all this other stuff. So at the end of the session, well, I wouldn't call her a psychic. She doesn't call herself a psychic. She calls herself a spiritualist, but she does use tarot cards. But she says that her spirit guides talk to dead people, whatever. At the end of it, I was telling her about this thing. I said, why is it still here? She said, because you made friends with it, like you named the puppy. And I was like, what? Yeah, you named the puppy. She said, because you use it for your power now. You're like, I don't want to do that. But then you'll use the excuse, well, I'm sick. I don't want to go to that party. Or I'm sick. I don't want to feel like calling that person. And she was like, learn how to stand in your own power and say no. Say no. No, I have to rest. No, I have to take care of myself right now. No, I have to make it about me, and that's not being selfish. That's self-care. You know, I was neglecting myself. And that was what I learned with don't name the puppy. The last thing I learned was sick people talk about being sick. That's just what we do. We do it to get it out and for comfort, and we want people to understand what we're going through, and I get that. But I had to stop focusing on excuse me. I had to stop focusing on being sick and start focusing on being healthy. And I had to shift my focus more so to the things, get excited about the supplements and the smoothies and stuff and the exercise and the yoga. I had to get excited about all of that instead of saying I'm doing this to defeat fibromyalgia. I don't even bring fibromyalgia into the equation. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this to be healthy. I'm doing this to be happy. I don't talk about because I got fibromyalgia, because I got fibromyalgia, because I got fibromyalgia. The majority of people at my job don't know. Very few people at my job know. And that's because when I first got there, I was sick enough where I had to tell them because I'm like, I can't do that because of this. But now it's like I'm a normal person. I don't even think they pay attention. I don't know. My my whole thing is you have to figure out which thing you're good at and then go balls to the wall and believe that there's a cure. I don't care what them doctors say. Believe that but you can't just believe and then just sit around. Oh, I'm sick. I don't feel good. And I understand the stress and the depression that goes along with that, but you cannot give in to the sadness of the swamp, Artez. You just can't. Like, you have to fight the sadness. You gotta find your happy, find what makes you happy. If you don't find your happy, you'll never come out of it. Like, you have to change the way you have to change what you did before you got sick, because something you were doing contributed to your illness. Like, you have to figure out what that was. I don't know. Leave me some comments. I don't know. We could talk. All right. I'm gonna leave all of my social media. I'm so light. I'm so light right now. I'm gonna leave all of my social media in the description. See that? See the goddess rays on me? I'm so silly. All right, you guys. I'm about to get out of here, but take care of yourself. That's what I will tell you to do. Peace.